What is hyper business? Now, hyper business is something that you may have seen, but maybe you didn't quite know what it was called. So in the business world, you're going to see many different types of companies. Now, these companies all have their own pace of growth. Some of them grow faster, some of them grow slower. I'm sure you've probably seen companies that some of them like totally take off right from day one. And some others are kind of like really sluggish and they're not really growing and they're just kind of prodding along. And then eventually they either die off or maybe an investor comes in and then they start to experience some real growth. So what is the real difference between these businesses that aren't really growing and the businesses that are experiencing hyper growth or becoming a hyper business? I believe the biggest difference, and of course this doesn't apply to every single business, but I believe that for most businesses, that's simply applying some sort of hyper growth tools. When you start applying these hyper growth tools to your business, you're going to start seeing growth, because the whole point of these things is to make your business, number one, more efficient. We want the business to become something that operates in an efficient way. It's effectively performing the things that it's supposed to do, and it gets you through that cycle with each client faster and faster and faster. So the faster you can deliver quality products, the faster you can move on to the next client and continue doing that over and over and over again. If you do that enough times, now you've got a hyper business. So how can we create hyper growth, or how can we make our business a hyper business? Now, I believe the biggest thing that we have today, the biggest opportunity for us, is in the AI space. And I'm not just saying that because it's a hot topic. I'm not just saying that because I think it's cool. I'm saying that because I've seen it literally transform companies. And the same thing that happened when we had the internet came out, everybody's like, wow, this is great, amazing. And the people that adopted it, the people who were using the internet to grow their business, were the ones who experienced hyper growth. I would say they experienced actually accelerated growth, not necessarily hyper growth. I think we're just now getting into the place where more and more businesses can easily access this level of growth. And hyper growth is different than rapid growth. So they accelerated the businesses with the internet maybe 10, 20 years ago, but now businesses can experience hyper growth from day one, and that's using AI. So there are many different applications when it comes to AI. You can apply it to several different aspects of the business. I've personally applied it to many different parts of my business just to see what would happen. Literally, you could start anywhere. Maybe you're a content creator. You could take artificial intelligence, use it to write a script for you maybe. I personally don't like that. I don't really do well with scripts. I usually have a couple things that I want to talk about whenever I'm presenting or teaching, and then I just kind of talk about it because these are things that I know and these are things that I understand and I love. But for some people, maybe a script is useful. So if you have a teleprompter or whatever it is, you can use a script and you can actually have AI create the whole script for you. You can, number one, just start with the idea. AI can come up with a cool idea. AI can create the script for you. And then once you record the content, and by the way, you can also have AI record the content. That's the cool part. You could basically have AI create a video that looks like you, talks like you, sounds like you. It's almost as if you actually recorded the video, and it'll actually have even the same hand motions that you do. My team created a really cool video and they shared that with me, and it literally looks like me. If you didn't know me well in person, you would actually think it's me, that I recorded that video. Now, of course, as AI gets better and technology continues advancing, these videos are going to get more and more polished. But already today, we have that kind of technology. Now, back to my content creator example. If we have AI create the idea, it comes up with an intelligent idea, it creates the whole script, it recorded the whole video for you. Now it can even edit its own video. Because the cool thing about AI is that it's not really a static thing. AI knows how to analyze a video, how to find the best edits, the best times to cut. It can cut out empty space. If you have a big pause in there, it can just cut it out. It can edit it out. So you can literally have AI do that whole process for you. Something that maybe took 1 or 2, maybe even 3 people to do in the past, now AI is doing that whole thing. But that's just one application. Maybe you're not a content creator. Maybe you don't really care about creating content. Okay, great. What about a sales team? Maybe you have a sales team that you're running. I've personally implemented AI into my sales teams, and I have AI contact the people that I want to do business with and nurture those relationships to the point until they are ready to do business with me. Doesn't matter what company it is, doesn't matter what industry it is, AI can literally handle that whole process for me. and it can find the people who maybe would do business with me or maybe who wouldn't do business with me. And that's valuable. Just that right there, just being able to cut out the people who don't want to do business with me, that's an amazing value add, because now I'm not spending time on people who don't want to do business or who aren't ready or who can't afford it or who don't have the right mindset. I can have AI do all of that pre-qualification for me so that I don't have to do it. So as you can see, that could really accelerate the onboarding process for me. So if I had these people that are reaching out to me about doing business, let's say 5,000 people a month reach out to me, or 10,000 people a month reach out to me, and they want to do business with me, right? Everybody thinks from that first contact, they're like, oh, I want to do business with Austin. Okay, great. I'm not really sure what he does, but I want to do business with him. Now I can have AI talk to all 10,000 people at once, by the way. Imagine how many salespeople it would take to reach out to all those people, but AI can do it all at once. So it reaches out to all these people at once. It talks to them. It's like, hey, so tell me a little bit about yourself. What industry are you in? And by the way, on the back end, I've set parameters. I want people from these industries. I want people with this credit score. I want people that have this level of income, because those are the people that are my ideal clients who are the most successful based on our track record. As AI is talking to all those people, it can find out whether these things are present. It can find out whether they qualify. So let's say automatically 80% of the people are disqualified. So now we're left with 2,000 people. Now, out of those 2,000 people, let's say 80% of those can't really afford the service. That's another 1,600 people gone. So now we're left with 400 people who can actually potentially afford the service. Now it would take somebody on the sales team to talk with them and to determine whether this person is ready to move forward, because if their mindset is not in the right place, if they're not thinking about this correctly, if they have the incorrect expectations of something like this, it doesn't make sense for us to do business with them. Now, this goes across all my different businesses, so it's not specific to any industry, but this can be in anything. It could be in my coaching company, it could be in my consulting company, it could be in the business where we literally build AI tools for everybody. So AI can determine whether that person is ready to have their own AI tool. Like, it's amazing. And so imagine what kind of growth I can achieve with that. Now, what if I just cranked up the ads and now I have 100,000 people coming into my business every month and I don't have to talk to all of them? I didn't have to hire any more salespeople. I simply gave AI the authority to reach out to all these people, to talk to them and to qualify them, to find out which of these people are actually likely candidates for our service. Now, you can really start seeing how that can build a hyper business, because all the content is created by AI. AI is also handling most of the sales process, right? You still need a closer in most cases. However, AI can close the deal, and I've watched it do it, by the way. It could literally do the whole sales process, from reaching out to them, to warming them up, to nurturing them, and then finally closing them and potentially even collecting payment information. It's like a whole process. Now imagine we had AI also come in and analyze our business and find out where we could standardize certain procedures, standardize some processes. Those are the things that are building a healthy business. If you can implement AI into your business, and by the way, we help people do this every single day, I believe that you can get one step closer to having a hyper business. And I'll do some more videos on hyper business and what all that entails, because I really believe we are entering the era of hyper business, and we can now finally use technology for what it was supposed to be in the beginning and use it to grow our businesses as fast as possible, of course, without breaking them. Alrighty guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.